Welcome to another episode of the Blemished Beauty Podcast. This podcast was designed with you in mind. If you're ready to erase the norm and embrace the truth, come pull up a chair, grab a journal, and tell a friend that your favorite Jersey girl is back with another episode. So let's get into it.
Well, family, we have made it through another season of the Blemished Beauty Podcast. And I hope you guys enjoyed the ride. Season 3 was raw and vulnerable. And again, I want to personally thank each and every guest who came to the couch and allowed me to be their safe space. I want to also thank everyone who has listened to these episodes and shared it out with your friends. There's a lot of love and energy that goes into every episode, and I pray you all felt that. So it's only right that I close our season with how I started, and that's with a solo vulnerability episode. So if you guys notice the thumbnail for this episode, you will see it's a beautiful picture of me. I lived my life being the selfie queen. Now, back in the day, you would find so many photos of me, but as I got older and had my children, my selfies decreased drastically. So this picture in particular is one of my favorites. And this picture is what a lot of people would consider beautiful and happy. But if you look close enough, you would notice that this is a picture that is a puzzle. And not only is it a puzzle, but it's made up of different pieces. These pieces are some of the things that make me who I am, both good and bad. These pieces of me are my blemishes and the things I've been covering up. The smile, the jewelry, the hair, it's all nice, but on the inside, I have been carrying around these blemishes for years. The purpose of this podcast is to own your scars. It's time to take responsibility for the good and the bad things that have happened to you and the scars that make you who you are. Some of the words in the picture are insecurities that I've had, and some are character traits that I excel in. But just like a puzzle piece, each piece of me, or in this case, a scar or a blemish or an insecurity, will look different, and yours will too. No two people have the same number of pieces, so continue to be kind. Remember, your words can bound or free someone, so choose them wisely. Handle people carefully because we are all 1 minute away from either a breakdown or a breakthrough. Some scars are physical, and those can be an easy fix. But what about those emotional scars? Have you done anything to heal those? In the first episode of this season, I told you all about my dream to become a model. That, of course, was short-lived. So I took my L, aka a loss, on that dream, deferred, and I became the selfie queen. How many times have you sat a dream down because someone told you that you couldn't do it, or you allowed others' limited beliefs to get in the way? I didn't know it then, but this created a scar of insecurity because I allowed people to define the standard of beauty that I had for myself. I had an interview on the Decree of Dominion podcast, and I talked about my childhood and how I grew up. And as I was telling the story, I realized that created a scar of rejection. If you're a parent, I want you to understand how vital pouring positivity into your children is. You may not know this, but how you handle them is the seed that creates what kind of adult they'll become. If you are a co parent, I need you to show up for your children. To my dads out there, your daughters need you. You are the first person who will help them see their worth. To the moms, you are the first person who will show her how to conduct herself as a woman God has designed her to be. And if you have sons, you will be the person to show him how to treat a woman and how he should be as a man for the dads. It is time to be better stewards of the things God has given us, and it starts with our children. Invest in their dreams, teach them the value of saving money, and most importantly, teach them the best way to fight their battles is with prayer and not weapons. They are the future, and how the future ends up depends on us. If you notice, these last episodes were geared towards encouragement and the shift of your mindset. That's because I want us to show up in better spaces. We are adults now, and we can't change the past. So we can take responsibility of showing up into our future healed, whole, so we have the best and the rest of our lives to be the best version of ourselves. You can decide if you want to blame people for what happened or learn how to forgive and turn it around for your good. I didn't have the daughter that I planned to have, but that doesn't mean I can't adopt one. I didn't get the marriage I planned the first or the second time around, but that doesn't mean the next one won't be the greatest love of all. It's time out for the pity parties and playing victim. We are victorious, so let's show up that way. Personalize it. You are victorious, so start to show up that way. I need you to understand that people will talk about you, whether it's good or bad, so you might as well take your life back. Time is a precious thing, and it's something neither of us know the full extent about. We could be here today and gone tomorrow. So make today the last day you give everything and everyone more grace than you give yourself. These scars are not meant to be hidden, but they are meant to be used as a part of your testimony. They symbolize what you've been through and what you've overcome. So to recap the process, I'm going to give you 5 tips that I've used when I decided to own my scars. 1, acknowledge the scar as a part of your story. Just like the picture of this episode, I had to acknowledge the good and the bad parts of me. That's never easy, but it's necessary, because then you know how far you've come and what you still have left to do. 2, accept that the scar is a sign of healing and resilience. When I realized I had the ability to get to and through what I've been through, I looked at the journey for the moment I received the scar versus where I am now, and tapped into that resilience that God gave me, and I just kept showing up. So I encourage you to keep going. 3, share your experience with others when you're comfortable. So I decided that I had the power, with God's help, of course, to rewrite my story. So I started to take my healing journey very, very seriously. I sat down with the life coach and then sought out to counseling because I was determined that I deserved better. So in order for me to receive better, I must become better. So I had to do better. 4, encourage or engage in self-care practices to nurture your body and mind. And you can encourage yourself while you do this. Some of the things that I took advantage of during my healing journey was counseling, journaling, and writing down affirmations. And of course, starting this podcast. Counseling wasn't easy because it requires you to be vulnerable. It requires you to own your scars and see sides of you that you probably haven't dealt with in years. Journaling, a lot of people don't understand the true value in it, but it's very therapeutic. And seeing the transition of where you were versus where you are now on paper, seeing how you mentally changed, seeing how far you've come in real time does wonders for your confidence. And writing down affirmations was key because power and death lie in the tongue. And when you speak positive, you feel positive, and positive things will happen. And last but not least, 5, use the scar as a motivation to help others with similar experience. Like I stated in number 4, I created this podcast and journals, which provides tools and resources for anyone who is listening that wants to start their healing journey and showing up better than you were yesterday. No journey is the same. We all have different pieces that make us who we are. Remember, it's not about the load you have, but it's all about how you carry it. So make today the day you decide to carry lighter. Take advantage of your resources and own your scars. I want to thank each and every one of you for another amazing season. I will see you guys in season 4. And as always, you are graced and gifted for a time such as this. You have purpose in this world, and you have been created to do great and amazing things. So until next season, I want you to spread love, show grace, and shine bright.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and don't forget to leave a review. You can follow Shira on all major platforms and on YouTube at Shira Renee 510. Until next time, spread love, show grace, and shine bright.